Elon Musk has been a busy boy recently, okay, with the creation of the DOGE department, the Department of Government Efficiency. He has really gone to work, shutting down the U.S. AIDS department and exposing how much waste has been out there. Most recently, okay, he's been going through Social Security and seeing how much fraud has been committed there. Like, this is wild, okay? Bruh, and if I wanted to rummage through random personal shit, I could have done that at PayPal. Now, he's responding to John Fetterman, who's down here. Okay, possible DOGE access to private taxpayer data sparks an outcry. Well, it's a government department, you blockheaded tard, but I want to save billions of your money and make our government more efficient. Rummaging through your personal shit is not that. I mean, having tens of millions of people marked on Social Security as alive when they are definitely dead is a huge problem. Obviously, some of these people would have been alive before America existed as a country. Think about that for a second. Yeah, the amount of people collecting Social Security in their late 90s, in their late 190s. I mean, bro, what are we doing here? This is wild. So good on him for finding this stuff. And the fact that, I mean, like, bro, this is absolutely wild. Now, obviously, yeah, there are some people that are in their 90s, in their late 90s. Hell, you had Jimmy Carter barely break that 100 barrier, but 120, 130, 140, 150. The fact that there are still millions of people in their 150s who are collecting on their long deceased name. I mean, good on you, Elon Musk. It's going to be wild to see, just as his year goes on, how much DOGE really does accomplish. But Elon specifically, well, he's finding and carving out some time to just dunk on the gaming industry as well, as somebody who has been, yes, a very out-and-out gamer at various different levels. I mean, he does love to play himself some Diablo 4. Maybe not, through all of the grind and stuff like that, but at the higher-end stuff, yeah, he really likes to enjoy that. And same with Path of Exile. Just, yeah, don't try to press him as to how he ends up getting there. But him taking on games journalism, I mean, it's a low bar, and it's kind of like making fun of the kid with the propeller on his hat, but somebody has to do it, right? Elon Musk calls video games journalism garbage. A struggling industry lashes out to defend itself. Well, I mean, it's a bad industry full of really bad people, and just a couple of examples of other people also experiencing the same type of pushback. Like, you got Drinker out here quote tweeting this very fine individual. I'll go with that. You guys are generally so pathetic. It's quite literally just video games. Yeah, when you're talking about stuff like, okay, you got Asmongold out here finally putting the last nail in the coffin of, woke games journalism, and how they've been cancel pigs longer than the term has even existed. But yeah, it's just video games. But as Drinker points out, interesting how video games were super important to idiots like this until they got what they wanted. Now that their side is losing, the wheel out the old, it's just video games, why do you care so much argument every single time. Yeah, exactly. The moment that they get what they wanted, and then the other side starts to complain, all of a sudden, oh yeah, we'll just diminish it. Okay, cool. We went out there and we subverted Star Wars to just put out one of the most hateful, spiteful pieces of shit to tear down the OT, and why do you care about it anymore? It's just a stupid show. It's just a stupid movie about space wizards intended for children. Why do you care so much about it, bro? And then you got Grums chiming in on the situation. You destroyed our industry, you ruined our games, spread poison and fear through developers, tried to kick us all out, and he's going on, one of his patented screeds. But then you have this freak. I actually genuinely hope Trump bans video games, so y'all look stupid supporting that dumbass who doesn't know what he's talking about. I find this hilarious because he also thinks that the president has the ability to cancel what the private industry around the world is capable of doing. I find that very interesting, that you're so uninformed as to the powers of the federal government. Like, these are the people that think that food comes from the store and electricity comes from the wall. They aren't sending their best, folks. Going back to Musk here, because he once again, simply assessing the land for the way that it is, but Elon Musk has once again triggered the gaming press, this time in a single post on X that perfectly sums up what gamers have known for years about games journalism. Video games, in scare quotes, journalism is garbage. One short statement was enough to send the usual suspects in games media into a full-blown meltdown. Kotaku reporter Ethan Gotch tried to downplay Musk's criticism. They ruined my toys as a sophisticated sophistication level of the animus driving the current reactionary takeover, he said condescendingly. Well, yeah, exactly. I work at Kotaku, therefore I'm the authority. Bro, nobody knows you work for Kotaku. Everybody's just waiting for that one last message to come out of them going, we're closing up shop. Unsurprisingly, gamers weren't having it. DOGE was relentlessly mocked, with users pointing out the hypocrisy of games journalists who claim to love the industry while constantly berating its audience. Yeah, exactly. It goes on time and time again. But Elon also decided to retweet Mario Nawfal, who just, once again, with an ice cold take here, woke politics took over gaming. Well, big shock on that one, bro. And you're also using the acolyte to highlight how woke politics took over gaming. I mean, I like that the boomers are coming around to this stuff. It's just, can we get up to speed here? But Elon, exactly. They destroyed the art. No forgiveness. Now, I like the sentiment. Just get up to level 5 like the rest of us are on right now, okay? Because we're dealing with journalists out here, okay? Games journalists from IGN and PC Gamer admit to political activism in games reviews and says any game that includes the Gulf of America will have points deducted. Now, this could be a joke, right? Because I've seen this one going around for a while. This Len, I think, from IGN, right? I'll take a whole point off of a review score for any future map games. They call it Gulf of America. You think I'm joking? You think I want to do this forever? I can't start some fires on the way. Oh, I can start some fires on the way out. Oh, okay, so that's like really not a joke, huh? Try and call the bluff. Nobody has ever let this amount of soft power go to their head before. I don't even know what that is. Maybe they just had a brain hemorrhage on the way out. But imagine thinking that anybody who refers to an IGN score at this point, other than a meme, oh no, so instead of IGN 7 being the boilerplate response, it's going to be a 6 because they want to be accurate. But why is this side all of a sudden just totally fine with dead naming stuff? It's the Gulf of America. That's what it is. Google Maps changed it. It's like that's the name. That's how it wants to identify now. That's the name that it's going for. But you want a dead name with Gulf of Mexico? Excuse me. You're not supposed to do that. Okay. Indie developer, yes, strategy, RPG, horror, narrative games, freelancer. But I work at IGN and PC Gamer because I'm a failed creative, and this is the best that I can do. Unless IGN and PC Gamer cuts ties with their review scores are forever tainted. Dead naming the Gulf. Exactly. Why would you be such a bigot? But let's check back in with Elon, who, yes, declares war on gaming industry, reaffirms his plans to start a new AI video game studio to make games great again. Yes, please, for the love of God. Also, yeah, just throw in AI as well, because that spurgs them out, because they see all of their irrelevant jobs just evaporate to the winds because they can easily be replaced by a fucking search engine. That's how superfluous you are. Elon Musk has once again confirmed his plans to launch his own AI game studio under the XAI, doubling down on his mission to combat the woke mind virus infecting the modern gaming industry. Now, responding to a post on X that claimed XAI is starting to move forward with its AI game studio, Musk simply replied yes, reaffirming his commitment to changing the gaming landscape. Musk, who has long voiced his frustrations with the industry shift towards identity politics and virtue signaling, first announced these plans back in November of 2024. I think this was in response to that avowed art director's meltdown? I think so. As a passionate gamer himself, it depends on if the check clears. Musk has frequently criticized the inclusion of agenda-driven content in modern AAA games, from pronoun selection, options to forced diversity narratives. Musk has been a vocal opponent of what he sees as an ideological capture in gaming. His criticisms are not unfounded. The gaming industry has seen a wave of backlash from players tired of cultural divisive content being pushed onto their favorite titles. Games like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League just wrapped up, by the way. What was it? At the end of January it got its final, because it would be celebrating in the very near future, or maybe within a couple of days, its 1 year anniversary. But man, it just ended up missing out. Oh well, better luck next time, right? Rocksteady, I'm sure another Sweet Baby Inc. game that'll get you over the finish line. Dragon Age: The Veilguard, another game that wrapped up in record time. Concord, a game that had a longer life cycle than a housefly. Dustborn and Star Wars Outlaws. I think Dustborn might actually be the only game, due to the fact that it was financed by the European and Norwegian governments. It's probably the only one that is still getting updated, because Outlaws, I'm pretty sure Ubisoft, mostly because it can't afford the manpower at this point, just hasn't updated it at all. Oh well, and has anybody even noticed? Hell, there's still side content that's out there that nobody has even bothered to get. It's wild. When Dogecoin creator Billy Marcus questioned how the gaming world became so ideologically compromised, Musk responded, "Too many game studios that are owned by massive corporations." Kind of. Okay, XAI is going to start an AI game studio to make games great again. Yeah, that definitely does have something to do with it, mostly because it can't specifically police all of the different hirings that goes on, because, yeah, you get a couple of ideologues in the door, and then they start to bring their friends in, and especially if they're in the positions of power when it comes to hiring, like HR departments, or if they're big enough where they start to have these DEI departments, then yeah, you start to get the ideologues, you start to get the simps that bring on all of the most deleterious aspects, and then that's how you end up with a dilapidated industry. And gaming, yeah, because it was at its zenith, I would argue it was at its pinnacle, when it was just a bunch of dudes, you know, in their basement or in their garage, just slaving away to make their game a hit. Not because, you know, they had Microsoft money coming in, not because they were looking for an EA acquisition. It was because, you know, John Carmack and John Romero really wanted to get Doom out there so that they could kill some demons. Or Rare was really wanting to see a bunch of, you know, steroided up toads go out there and beat the brakes off of some alien rats. But now you have a bunch of people that think that intelligence is directly tied to how many degrees you have, and because they can meet some of the hiring prerequisites, all of a sudden, oh boy, yeah, my gender studies degree automatically means that I can go ahead and write a video game because I have a 4-year degree. That entitles me to a nice cushy position working at Ubisoft, BioWare, Obsidian, you name it. And because they're looking for non-binary, female, I don't know how that works, but it does, certain amount of melaninated people, I could just go ahead and walk in because I have vagina, hear me roar. And fewer people are hearing that roar because you're driving off the industry as people start to look for their entertainment needs being satisfied abroad, and then also through older titles bereft of this messaging. It's really not that shocking as to why we're in this direction. And it's just so nice to finally see somebody with a financial backing behind it being able to make these changes. So yeah, Elon's gonna continue to make them spurg out because he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And because the AAA industry continues to double, triple, quadruple down, they continue to let their budgets inflate, where you end up with games not too big to fail, but too big to succeed as more bubbles burst throughout this year. Because I think, for as bad as 2024 was, I think 2025, for entertainment as a whole, it's going to be really bad. There's going to be a bunch of bombs that are going to be out there. We're going to be looking back at, honestly, the election of Donald Trump and the purchase of Twitter by Elon Musk as the turn of the tide, as the point in time where things started to shift. I don't believe in the whole pendulum. Oh, the pendulum's going to swing back, because never at a point in time has there ever been a true pendulum swinging back. That is one thing that progressives get. We're constantly moving forward. I think we have an opportunity now to course correct. Okay, I think we can go ahead and try to veer back on the road, even though we've been careening off of it and we've probably crossed a couple of ditches. We can get back on the right side of the highway. With enough smart people making enough smart business decisions. There's a few indie games, AA games that are coming out that can go ahead and lay the blueprint. But in general, man, it's going to get tough. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But I ultimately think things are, in fact, going to get better. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.